I'm Beth, and these are my memories. To the complex and precious people who appear in them, thank you. I forgive you, and I'm sorry. You shaped me, and I carry you still. In remembering, I've come to see us all more clearly, not as villains or saints, but as humans doing the best we knew how. I must have forgotten. Until now.
Tracy and I knew it was coming. After a few weeks of two-a-days and before the first football game, rumors had leaked that there would be an initiation. Until we'd crossed the threshold of fire, we would still be newbies. Only after demonstrating our musical spirit and undying devotion would we at last enter the mythical realm of the real marching band. It was not an official thing. The school still considered it hazing and wanted no part of it. But as long as no one got hurt or arrested, they turned a blind eye.
Just keep it to yourselves. We do not need to know.
Little did we know how close we would come to ruining it for everyone. We couldn't prepare ourselves. In later years, guys that we had a running play feud with from my college dorm had a saying we could have used here.
When you least expect it, expect it.
We didn't know what to expect. We felt both excitement and dread. We wondered who would be our big sisters, the warlords who would use everything at their disposal to break us down into compliant little woodwind puppets. Soon enough, we would know who would drag us through the doorway into the real band. We wanted to belong, but the question was, would we survive it? We warned our parents. I had to warn mine because if someone unexpectedly showed up at our house at the butt crack of dawn, they would have told them to take a hike.
5 o'clock in the damn morning.
So Dad and Janice knew someone would, at some point, come to whisk me away. Dad barged into my room, which was his usual M.O., but I was sound asleep. It was 5 o'clock a.m. and one of the few times he was justified to just walk in without knocking. I never thought about it back then, but with his hearing loss, I think he just walked in because he wouldn't be able to hear me even if he knocked and waited for a response.
Beth, get out of bed. There are girls outside to pick you up.
He didn't know their names or what they looked like. Just girls were taking me.
Somewhere.
It could have been the Symbionese Liberation Army for all the vetting he had done. He would have made them coffee and then pushed me out the door.
Now you kids don't forget your rifles, you hear?
I went to the back door and the girls were waiting out there. I'll call them Miss L and Miss M. They were band seniors and today was the day. I couldn't decide whether I was flattered they had chosen us or if I was terrified and doomed. At least they didn't show up in leather, carrying whips. They told me to go put on a bathing suit and bring a tutu. How they knew I happened to have a tutu, I never understood. It wasn't exactly part of my school wardrobe. Tracy was already in the car when I came back outside. I was a sight. My fluffed-up sleep hair, blue and green one-piece bathing suit, a hot pink tutu, and tennis shoes.
That's what you're wearing? All right, whatever this is.
I was too self-conscious and anxious to even remember what Tracy had on. No doubt it was something similar. It was chilly in the car at 5 a.m. with no real clothes on. I should have at least put on socks. Miss L and Miss M wouldn't tell us where we were going. Maybe they were figuring it out on the fly. But Tracy and I were told to shut our mouths when we asked questions. From my paltry navigation skills, it seemed the car was headed towards Cleveland. Apparently, part of the fun for them was finding as many witnesses to our embarrassment as possible. Miss L was the boss in this endeavor. Miss M was driving and smoking. I didn't know she smoked. I was a little disappointed. The two of them looked as sleepy as we were. They'd been up longer, so that's fair, but don't they believe in the power of coffee in Tortureland? Suddenly, Miss L conceived of something to make us do.
Oh, stop.
After hearing the evil plan muttered into her ear, Miss M haphazardly pulled over to the curb. The two of them giggled as they demanded,
Go pretend to rob that store.
What?
Walk over there and say it's a stick-up.
What? I'm not getting arrested for marching band.
You have to do it. Talk in a baby voice.
Well, that made perfect sense. No one would believe a pair of baby ballerinas were robbing a liquor store. I was not emotionally prepared to meet my end in a tutu while knocking over some neighborhood staple. I got out first, and Tracy scooted out through my door. I don't remember if she had a tutu, but she was more graceful and quicker than I was. We attempted to look normal as we approached the entrance of the store. Of course, it was completely ordinary to see teenage girls in bathing suits at sunrise on a downtown street in front of a store they were too young to patronize.
Everything's fine. Nothing to see here.
We jumped at the jangling bell when Tracy opened the door, as if the bell itself had the power to put us in handcuffs. The two of us crowded into the door opening, but were too awkward and nervous to walk all the way inside.
Are you going? No, I'm not going.
The counter was off to the left, and both of us turned that direction and squawked in our best baby voices.
This is a wobbery.
Yeah, wobbery.
We probably looked like deer frozen in a lane on the highway at dusk, but we had fulfilled our commitment and immediately turned tail and bolted back to the car like our very lives depended on it.
Oh my God, we're gonna go to jail.
I had barely had time to register the sage, astonished face of the 60-ish man inside the store. He looked at us like we were wayward doofuses that he should pity more than fear.
What is wrong with that younger generation?
He wasn't wrong. Miss L complained that Miss M should have driven away.
Huh?
This situation was getting serious now. Thankfully, Miss M was a dominatrix with a heart of gold. Or at least didn't want to explain having lost us in downtown Cleveland. There were more instances of random absurdity. I was given a large, ratty, old stuffed rabbit that I was supposed to carry everywhere.
Ew. Really?
Who knew where that thing had been? It looked like some baby had thrown up on it a million times and had been licked clean by a pack of wild dogs. But I wasn't going to fail initiation, so carry it I did.
It's a little bit crusty.
When Miss M pulled the car into a lot at Cleveland International Airport, I became increasingly concerned. For the record, airport security in 1981 was nothing like it is now. The four of us walked right into the airport. People stared at the two weirdos in bathing suits, but no one said anything. I still had goosebumps, but felt bizarrely flushed at the same time. My body wasn't sure whether to freeze solid or spontaneously combust. Tracy and I tried to be invisible as we followed the older girls deeper into the building. Suitcase wheels echoed off the terrazzo, and the smell of bacon wafted from the restaurants setting up for breakfast. My stomach growled. Tracy said it out loud.
I really want bacon now.
Miss L spied a group of Hare Krishnas and ordered me to go over and ask for spiritual guidance. I walked, gingerly, embarrassed, not bouncy and excitedly as I had been directed. I went near one of the members and said sheepishly,
I need guidance, please.
The man couldn't help laughing and told me,
It sure looks like you do.
Who says Hare Krishnas can't take a joke? The airport was starting to get more crowded. The morning flights were stacking up and people were in line everywhere. Miss L's last ritual for me, the one she said would cement my membership in the marching band, go into the open space of the lobby and dance the funky chicken. Tracy was supposed to sing it, although I don't remember her actually doing that. Maybe she didn't know the words. Neither did I. I sure didn't know how to dance the funky chicken, so I went into the center of the space, bocked my head forwards and backwards in full chicken mode, flapped my wings out to the sides, and walked in a circle while bouncing up and down. I felt pretty damn good about my chicken manifestation. The space was crowded, but no one came near me.
Bok, bok, bok.
Flap, flap, flap.
Bounce, bounce, bounce. I reached a level of poultry realism I had no idea I was capable of. My cheeks were red, my tutu was flapping off the beat, my shoes squeaked on the terrazzo, and I really wanted to just go back to bed. Anywhere else, actually. After this final, very public humiliation, Miss L and Miss M decided they had done enough. They were tired, we were tired, and on the way back they told us they were surprised we had done everything they asked.
Do they mean we didn't have to?
It seemed like it took a long time to get home, but they dropped me off first, then Tracy because she lived across the street from Miss M. On Monday they would just be their normal names again, but in our hearts we would never forget their tendency toward world domination. I scooted out of the car, still flapping in the mid-morning breeze, and sleepily noticed that the temperature was much better at 11 a.m. than at 5 a.m. I stumbled into the house, put on shorts and a t-shirt, and carefully placed the hot pink tutu on the wicker chair where Kitty liked to lay on top of it. My stomach was growling, but I ignored it and climbed back into bed. I hoped with all I had left that at no point would police show up looking for me. I was now initiated. I had survived. There was no going back now. And I knew, with no doubts, that my wobbery days were done forever. I was officially back on the straight and narrow. It had been a ridiculous path, but after the tutu, the funky chicken, and my brief dalliance with crime, I had earned my place. Maybe we were kidding ourselves that this was as profound as we felt it was. But the fact remained. We had drunk from the goblet of fire, and we belonged.
Thank you for listening. These are my memories, and maybe they echo yours too. I must have forgotten, but I remember now.
If you enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing on your favorite podcast platform, like and comment on YouTube, or leave me a review.
Sound design for this episode includes excerpts from MuseHub and Pixabay. These audio textures help carry the memory, shape the emotional arc, and are honored with gratitude here.